because now we're good. Okay, great. Let me share my screen here. I'll bring up the presentation. All right. So Bike Rally, very excited to have everyone here, August 2nd to 7th, 2026. Just want to make sure that everyone is following us online, especially with our social media accounts. A lot of important information is always posted there, as well as through email. And then this is just an overview of what we'll be speaking to tonight. So we've already gone through our introductions and met everybody. I'm going to go through a slideshow quite briefly. There's a lot of information, as you can imagine, about an event like this. And so there's not going to be too overwhelming of an evening for anyone. But then we will get into some more specific details, especially as it relates to people like you who are traveling abroad as it comes to traveling with bikes, assembly and disassembly of your bikes, accommodation, transportation, all of that. Um, yeah, and then Rob and Andrew are going to speak throughout, but then also have specific points made about differences and similarities with the AIDS Life Cycle and the Friends for Life Bike Rally. And then Stephen Sheriffs, who's on the call here, is going to do a little bit of information and share some of the social events and the training rides that happen in the San Francisco area through the different spokes group.
And
And then,
we'll send out the slide deck as well afterwards, and it's got links in it too, so you'll have that.
yeah, here. So here's a close-up of our co-chairs, if you can't see them on your tiny screen. But yeah, Seamus Butterly and Steve Sinanen are our wonderful co-chairs this year, doing enormous amounts of work. Um, so just a very brief overview of the Friends for Life Bike Rally, which started in 1999, which at that time, the Toronto People with AIDS Foundation was like struggling financially. And so two friends, David Linton and Danny Nashman, were looking for a way to help support and raise money for PWA. And so they came up with the idea of riding their bikes from Toronto to Montreal. And in its first year, there was just 24 cyclists and a support van, and together they raised around $41,000, which was a lot of money, as you can imagine, today, but at that time specifically. And then since then, we've cumulatively grown, raised $30 million approximately to support AIDS service organizations, not just in Toronto, but in Kingston, Montreal, and the Ottawa areas. This past August, which was our 2025 ride, we raised around $1.6 million, which was a great amount, but we're on target with the amount of people who are already registered for 2026 to surpass that goal. So we're very excited that there is a big influx of American riders joining us this year to help us reach that goal. And then just a little bit about who exactly we are riding for. So Toronto People with AIDS Foundation, based in Toronto in the Toronto area. Trellis HIV and Community Care supports people living with HIV AIDS in Kingston area, which is kind of the halfway point to Montreal. And then AIDS Community Care Montreal is based out of Montreal. And then Bruce House is based out of the Ottawa area, which we don't pass through, but we do get near along the route. Um, and then just to be very straightforward and clear about fundraising, this is a charitable fundraiser. And so there are fundraising minimums to get your ticket to ride, so to speak. So if you are a first year rider doing the 6 days from Toronto to Montreal, the minimum that we want you to raise is $1,950. I'm not sure if anyone on this call is just a 1 day rider traveling across the continent to do 1 day, but we do have that option. We have 3 day options as well, but a 1 day rider raises $950. And we do ask that this amount is raised by June 30th, 2026. And then just important to note, just to be transparent, it does cost us and our organizations approximately $2,000 to bring someone on this event. You know, all the expenses as it relates to food and campsites and everything you can imagine. So that is why that we have this specific minimum. We of course would like you to raise more than the minimum so that more money goes directly to support people living with HIV. Um, and then just some very short ways that you can help kickstart your fundraising. You know, it's great timing that World AIDS Day is just around the corner, December 1st, and then Giving Tuesday, December 2nd. So those are great messages that you can share along with your fundraising links to your direct bike rally page. Um, we'll get into your specific personal page on the Bike Rally fundraising platform where you can upload pictures and videos and specific information about why you're riding. Throughout the year, the Bike Rally holds a lot of different initiatives to help you reach your minimum. So we have raffles, donation matching, different types of contests and incentives. And we also are a valuable resource for you as well with different ways of tips and tricks to get you there. Social media obviously is your very helpful friend. A lot of people have their networks throughout their social media accounts. And then, of course, reaching out directly to people through conversations or direct messages or your colleagues at work. I don't think too many of us are new to fundraising, but some of us are. So it's good to give it a refresher.
Hey
And then,
Peter,
yes.
I said this in the chat, but like if people have questions, they just raise their hand as you go through this, like the raise your hand icon.
If I think if we save it to the end, we should have
Okay.
some time. I think that might be easiest. Yeah, just so that it's a bit more focused.
Cool. Yeah, or just
Um,
throw the question in the chat and we can go through them.
yeah, feel free to throw it in the chat and then we'll like get to them all at the end. Um, and then here I am going to pass this off to Rob just to
Yep.
give an overview here of day to day on the rally.
All right. So I'll quickly talk about our ride. It's a 6-day ride departing on August 2nd. Um, some differences where the ALC is 545 miles. Ours is 600 kilometers, which translates to about 375 miles in the 6 days. A typical day, we leave together. We have a leg, a break, a leg to lunch, another leg, a break, and then to the finish. And that's a typical day, except the one short day we'll get into where it's a half day, similar to it is on the ALC as well. The terrain is vastly different. It's generally a flatter ride. We don't climb mountains and hills, so it's a little easier. Just as beautiful. We're by rivers. We're in little towns where people come out to support. So that's really good. The pre-event is a little different. We have what's called packing day, the Saturday. That's where you bring your luggage down and pack it into bins and then put it onto your assigned trucks. Whereas ALC, it's kind of the reverse. So packing day is your belongings on the Saturday. Sunday is departure where you just show up in your outfit and your bike ready to ride. One other difference is we don't have assigned areas to camp. You can camp with your team, you can camp by yourself. So you don't have to look for a designated spot by letter and number. That's another different aspect to what we do. It's a more intimate ride, whereas with the roadies and the riders, we're dealing with close to 3,000. We're very intimate. And that's the beauty of a ride. You're going to be able to meet more people and experience and have more conversations with the smaller group of people. We'll probably travel with over 300, 350 for our ride. So a little different where you actually see a lot of similar people throughout the week. All right, over to you, Andrew Quinlan.
Rob Walker. Okay, so I'm going to go over each day here. And so it basically, what I'm really excited about is for all our wonderful American cyclists to get comfortable with the metric system. So that is going to be, you're going to love it. It's beautiful in its simplicity. I promise, if you're nervous right now, give it a shot, give it a chance. It's like trying something new that you'll love, I swear. Anytime you basically see 100 kilometers here, it's 60 miles. So each day is pretty much 60 and change. Day two is a little longer. It's probably more like 70 miles, 75. And then day three is 30 miles. So that's essentially the conversion for those who are wondering. So significantly shorter than ALC. And it gives you a little, like, I think I'll go through each day and I'll comment. But day one, so we all wear the same jerseys on day one. The ride provides them. And so it's our official jerseys. We'll wear them again on day six. And this one is really a celebrate day riders to get into camp. Our campsites, by the way, day one, two, four, and five. So all the campsites, day two, four, and five are right on the water. And then day one, there's a bus that goes to the beach near there. So you can actually, instead of choosing, if you don't want to use the showers, you can go and actually swim the beach and bring some biodegradable soap. I would say most of the people actually do that. It's a fun thing to do with everyone. Day two, this is our longest day on the ride. Port Hope to Adolphustown. This is where you can wear a team jersey if your team has a jersey. And then that evening, the social activity is the bike rally variety show. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but it used to say talent show, but we chose strategically to say variety show to be more welcoming to people who may not identify as someone with talent, like myself. Day three is Adolphustown to Kingston. This is a short day. It's dress in red day. So any outfit in red, very similar to red dress day on ALC. The best part about it is that we don't have those ridiculous, challenging hills that you have to do in your red outfit. So you can probably go a little more crazy with what you wear because it's a very flat, easy 50 kilometers into Kingston. Kingston is where we actually stay our one night, not camping. It's in the university, Queen's University there. So it's you get your own room, you get a shared bathroom with another person, but you actually have a private room and you just share a bathroom with another private room. So it's really nice, and you get in really early too, so you can nap, then you can go out, you can go for a dinner with your team. You have access to the shower in your bathroom, so it's a really good break halfway through the ride from camping to kind of pull yourself together again. And then that night's actually really special. So what we do is we work with I guess it's put on. Is it put on? I know they just changed their name. Michael, please help me with
Trellis.
the
Yeah,
charity name.
the local
Trellis.
AIDS organization is called Trellis in Kingston. Yeah, and they put on.
So we work with them.
Yeah, oh, go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you do it. You do it. You're gonna do better than me. I'll talk about the bar after. Yeah.
Yeah, so Kingston is kind of like a mid-sized university town. And the local agency there puts on a giant drag show in the park in front of City Hall in the town. Uh, Kingston used to be it was Canada's first capital city. It's got beautiful old buildings, and there's a giant drag show in the park in honor of the bike rally that night, which is really fun.
My favorite thing about it too is it's open to the public, so you actually see like lots of wonderful families that come out there with kids. It was one of my first exposures to really seeing like kids of all ages enjoying drag shows. So it's a really special event. And then after that, there's a social at the bar across the street where everyone has it's a really fun night. Okay, day four. Next slide.
Trying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get there. Hey.
Nice. Okay, so this is Kingston to Johnstown. This is Top Fundraisers Day, so it's similar but different to ALC, where like instead of like getting a jersey at 5 and 10, and then the bike jacket beyond that, you get a jersey if you hit 6,000. It's still 6,000, right? You didn't up it?
6,500.
Oh, so we did up it. Okay,
Mhm.
6,500 Canadian is a top fundraiser jersey. So if you hit that in your fundraising efforts, you get a jersey, and then we honor the top fundraisers that day. They're allowed to leave first in the procession. One thing. Rob, you may have said this, but we all leave together in the mornings at 8 a.m. But on this day, we let the lead group of top fundraisers lead us out of Kingston. It's also Decorate Your Helmet Day, so a little fun day. Just don't compromise the integrity of the helmet, please. And then at night, I mean, this is one of my favorite campsites, and it's one of my favorite night. And so we have the candlelight ceremony. It's not necessarily the equivalent, but it's like the vigil on the last night of ALC. It's done a little differently. Instead of you're paying respect silently, this is actually a ceremony where we invite people to come up and speak in front of the whole rally. It's of course optional, where you can share things to celebrate about, things about love, about joy, about the human spirit. But it's also where you can share loss and tragedy and battles you have gone through, or people you know, or people that aren't with us anymore. So we invite people to come up, share their stories. It's an incredibly powerful night, and it's a little different from the vigil, but has a similar impact of us understanding why we ride, why it's important. This was the day on my first rally when I was like, I'm doing this again and again and again. So a truly special night. Day 5. So this is Johnston to Lancaster. This is Pause Jersey Day. So this day is where HIV positive riders can choose to identify themselves as HIV positive by wearing a bike rally provided. It's you just simply have to identify as HIV positive and say you want to wear the jersey, and the bike rally provides these jerseys. And it is a very powerful public display. It's similar to the Pods Peddlers and the impact you're trying to make by showing eliminating stigma from a positive public exposure. So it's another very powerful thing the bike rally does. For those who choose to wear jerseys, everyone is instructed that you cannot have photos taken of yourself unless you give explicit consent. So the whole rally knows that. So we want to empower people to be able to identify themselves, but also feel comfortable doing so. That night, on day 5, it is karaoke. So a really fun way to end on our last night of the ride. Day 6, it's into Montreal. This is a really cool moment. So we don't have a halfway point photo op like we do on ALC, or we did on ALC, but we do have a Quebec crossing the border photo op. So it's very similar. It's just done much later in our ride, and there will be signs right at the Quebec border beside like entering Quebec sign that you can take to celebrate that you've made it almost all the way and you're entering a new province. And then we have an arrival party that night in Montreal where we can celebrate it. And it's the start of, or at least the start of the final weekend of Montreal Pride. So a wonderful night, a great time to come in to celebrate. And the bike rally does organize an official party that night. So that's one thing I really love. So it's a really great final way to celebrate the week you've all had together and celebrate with your team, with other riders. It's a truly great send off.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Andrew. I'm just going to touch a little bit on packing for the rally. There is a lot of information available on our website about specifics that you need to bring with you. But as Rob has already mentioned, that we do a packing day the day before we depart. And every rider gets 2 large Rubbermaid bins. So you can see those bins in the picture. The dimensions are listed here on the slide. And I will say, your stuff will fit in these bins. You don't have to be worried. Everyone's stuff generally fits in these bins. I've always brought a tent that fits 6 people just for myself, and it fits in these bins. So you don't have to worry about that. There is a link on our website that has a very comprehensive packing list, and we'll share that link. And also, when you see this presentation emailed to you, you can click the link here that's directly in the presentation. And then some for packing tips. This might not be new to you. A lot of people do like to pack their belongings in Ziploc bags and just separate it day by day, so there's no thoughts about what you have to wear on any specific day. It also keeps your belongings waterproof. A lot of people like to bring their bins inside their tent overnight in case it does rain, but then you see the people that don't do that. So I'll leave that up to you. Um, Laundry, I did see that question come into the chat. So when we are in Kingston, we stay at the Queen's University residence. There's opportunity to do laundry there, either within the residence itself or through a wash and fold that's in the city. So you can double up on some of the stuff that you are packing with you to pack a little bit lighter. And then because our packing day does happen the day before, you'll need to just change your mindset a little bit about what you do not pack. Because you want to have your day one jersey with you on day one, as well as your helmet and sunscreen and all that stuff. So just be very wise before you pack things in your bin the day before that you're going to need some things for day one. Um, and then this is just really an overview of all the people that it takes to run this event. So various crews exists, some directly behind the scenes and some are very active during the ride. So the rustlers who transport all of our luggage in and out of the trucks, road support, health and wellness, food and nutrition, participant engagement, they're all very active during the ride. The crews that are on the right-hand side of the bullets are very active behind the scenes, but a lot of them are riders themselves. So they are very active as well. And then we have a new crew this year of the US ambassadors with Rob and Andrew, because of people like you joining us on this ride, and we want to make sure that you are well taken care of. Um, so a lot of people to make this event work, as you can imagine. And then here, so Michael is going to take us through a web page that we have created specifically for out of town and long distance participants. Did you want me just to scroll down as you go through, Michael? Does that make things?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a lot of stuff here. We'll get into some like heavy detail, so please feel free to just uh if you do want to actually just actively ask questions at this point, that's fine. Just put up a hand or shout out. So your main priorities right now in terms of logistics would be obviously your travel to Toronto. You do want to arrive. We depart on the Sunday. Ideally, you'd want to arrive by Thursday. Friday is also fine, but you definitely need to be there before Saturday morning, because Saturday morning is the day that we pack up all of the bins, and you need to be able to get all your stuff we have our staging ground at a school in the parking lot and in the gym, and that's where you come and pick up all of your jerseys, your gift bags, and pack up all of your bins. So if you are booking your flights, make sure that you arrive in Toronto by Friday. I guess that's July 31st. Staying in Toronto, we have some options. So there's Toronto Metropolitan University residence. That's the cheapest option. It's a residence right downtown, which is close to departure, as well as the packing day. So it's not far from everything. It is the cheapest. It is kind of shared accommodations in the residence. But that's 75 Canadian per night, and there's links here for all of that. And then there's also a link. We partner with Marriott, so if you got your Bonvoy points, you can book at the Marriott in Toronto, and then we've also got 2 Marriott hotels in Montreal as well. Let me just see what we're throwing in the chat here. Bike rentals, yes, there are bike rentals available. We have there's a local touring bike company that we can make that available to you to arrange yourself. Camping equipment is obviously, if you want to bring it, I know that's difficult if you're flying. So we do have a limited amount of camping gear that we can lend out that we own. So that's one option for you. You could also, there's also rental options in Toronto too, which we can make available to you to arrange on your own. Sorry, dogs are going crazy. Yeah, so once you arrive in Toronto, you've got your accommodations, we're all packed up, and then we depart and we ride to Montreal. Um, your bike, uh, if you are shipping your bike in a bike box with the airline, you can have it built in Toronto. We have a local bike shop that we work with. They have a booking service. I forget, what are they charging? Do you guys know? Yeah.
$75.
So on the Thursday and Friday, before the rally, they're going to be offering that service to putting your bikes together. Uh, and uh, and so that can all be taken care of for you there. And we can transport your bike boxes from Toronto to Montreal in a truck. So it can be there when we arrive. Um, yeah. So when we're on the road, I see some questions here. Weather. Weather can be unpredictable. It's different every year. Um, Southern Ontario's climate in the summer is very humid, um, but it comes and goes. So there's um, probably on average like one or two very hot days on the ride. So probably like in the high 30s Celsius, or I guess that would be 90, maybe high 80s or something in Fahrenheit. Not sure the exact uh, measurement there. And the one big thing as well in Southern Ontario is thunderstorms, which in the summer can come out of nowhere. And within, an hour, we can be hit by torrential downpour, lightning, that sort of thing. So we, as the staff, are always watching the weather. We have a WhatsApp group where we will send out notifications to people if there's any dangerous weather coming. Uh, and it's a warm rain, so when you get wet, it's nice. Um, if there is bad weather and if your camping gear gets washed out, or if like your clothes all get soaking wet or whatever, we can get all that dry for you. We can get you new camping gear. That's all part of the plan. When we arrive in Montreal, we will also have a bike shop there who can disassemble your bike on arrival. Um, and uh, once we arrive in Montreal, you will go to your bins. You'll pick up all of your stuff. You can get your bike disassembled if that's what you need, and then you take all of your stuff to wherever you're staying in Montreal. So it's up to you to decide if you want to book an Airbnb or use any of the Marriott hotels that we have here. And then we also have the low cost option of the residence at Concordia University as well. Just keep in mind the residence does not have air conditioning, which can be unpleasant at times. But that's all up to you. Where you want to stay when you arrive, it's up to you how long you want to stay in Montreal. However, if you are coming back to Toronto, um, then we can transport your bike back to Toronto if that's what you need, but you do need to pick it up in Toronto on the Monday or the Tuesday. Um, However, if you're staying in Montreal, that's up to you, and you can leave there whenever you like. We are going to be sending out a survey to all of you out of towners to get your specific plans, just so we know what we need to do to help you with your particular itinerary, and what your plans are. So we'll be sending that out pretty soon. Teams. Am I talking about teams or someone else? I can talk about teams. So different from the ALC, we create teams soon, starting in January. And so everyone gets to select the team that they want to be on. We have a bunch of captains who volunteer. They create teams, and then people can select which captains they want to be grouped with. So that's going to happen in January. The way it's going to work with out of towners, especially you guys who kind of all know each other and are from different cities, um, you're going to have your own little groups. You can select what teams you want to be on together. You just kind of need to coordinate that between each other. We do want to kind of like have you spread out within the greater bike rally just so that, you can feel integrated and get to know everyone, but still be able to spend the time with your friends. Andrew, do you have anything you want to add about that?
Yeah, no, I think you've got it too. It's and maybe just so I clear, like, the bike, just to make it clear for the call, the bike rally selects the volunteers for team captains. It's not like I'm volunteering, so I'm a team captain. It's actually like there's an application for it, so that typically happens, and so it's a little different than, or I guess significantly different than ALC there. And so then once you have the team captains that have been collected, they're always pairs of two. Then you choose which captains that you want to be on a team with, or you pick your top three. So it's a little different than how it works.
And then another thing that's different from ALC, we do allow alcohol and cannabis use on the ride. We take a harm reduction approach to substance use, just like the service organizations that we support. Our goal is not to ban or punish or shame people, but to keep people as safe as possible. So alcohol and cannabis are permitted in camp at the end of the day when everyone is done riding. Under no circumstances are people allowed to drive or ride bikes while under the influence. We do have a sober space in camp if you want to camp in that area. We also have meetings for those who are in recovery every day after dinner. We spoke about packing day. Showers. There are showers available at all the camps. Some of them you need change, like loonies and toonies and quarters are Canadian money that they're operated by coin. Some of them. The handbook will have all the specifics for each camp and what you need. If you don't have any change, you can come to the staff, and we usually have some like rolls of coins. Food, we work with a catering company who comes along with us with catering trucks and provides all of the food. So it's all professionally done. The menus are up. The menu this year is basically the same as last year. So if you just want to look at the 2025 menu, that will show you the food. If you have any special needs at all, it can be accommodated. So just let us know, and the caterers will know you by name and can figure out any special meals that you require. Yeah, and just looking at the chat questions here. Yeah, I think we've addressed most of them.
Regarding the bike rental that you'll pick up in Toronto, if we're leaving Montreal, is there a way to get that bike rental back to Toronto? Is it a bike store in Toronto, or is it located in Montreal and you pick it up in Toronto?
Yeah, so the rental you would pick up in Toronto. If you're staying in Montreal, we could transport the bike back to Toronto for you. We'll just need to arrange that. We haven't done that before, but it's definitely something that we can do. We bring everyone's bikes back to Toronto in the truck. anyway. So we can just those can just tag along, and we'll just need to figure out a way to make sure that it gets back to the rental place, um, and that you're not left with any extra bills or anything.
And do you know what the cost is?
Um, I don't recall if the one that we found was not that much. I think it was like maybe it wasn't any more than $1,000 for the week, and I think it was less than that. But I'll have to double check that.
At that cost, you might as well just pack your bike and transport it on the plane and
Yeah.
deal with it that way. So, okay.
Yeah, from my experience, if it's a cost question, it is always more affordable to pack your bike up and take it as a checked bag on your plane versus renting.
Got it.
Yeah.
And did you answer the question regarding the bike box option? That obviously that won't go in a bin, but you guys will transport that.
Yeah, we can transport those in the truck for you. The routes are available on Ride with GPS as well as Q Sheets. So if you have um, a GPS or phone, they work on there, and you can also do printouts if you like that as well.
Stop sharing so we can see everyone's face a bit better.
Yeah, go for it.
Here we go.
Another question regarding the bike. ALC, I always had just one size suitcase for 7 days, and it tends to be a larger size. I don't know if anybody else from ALC, it's probably going to be too big for those bins. Any feedback on that?
Off-sided luggage.
Think if you don't bring a packed hard shell case is my recommendation because I don't think those will fit in the bins. Like I think if you bring a bag that is, I'm trying to like, I think what you're bringing is going to be too big to fit into one of those
Okay.
bins. Yeah. So I think if you can, I know it's hard to bring two bags because then you have to check two things. But like a good option is to like do a medium-sized check bag and a carry-on, all like soft cloth, ideally for like clothes and stuff. So that way you can split it up into two bags and it'll fit in the two bins.
Can I add, I know this may be a little secret, but there is an oversized bin on every truck. It wouldn't necessarily fit a hard shelled case, but I have a collapsible soft case that doesn't fit in the bins and it just goes in the oversized bin. And that works perfectly.
Yeah, and I think you guys sent out a questionnaire about if we needed camping equipment.
Mhm.
I'm going to bring my own sleeping bag and pad, but I know, Merkel and some other people, if you haven't filled that out, trying to pack all that along with a tent is going to be a lot. So, is there a limit? I think you mentioned there's a limited number of tents, right?
As of right now, yes. I mean, we'll make sure that everybody gets a tent. And it's more like we just need to kind of gauge the demand, which is why we want to get out these surveys to you guys, and it's important for you to fill them out. But nobody will be left hanging for anything. But yeah, and if you want to bring part of your camping gear, you can just select the specific things that you need, and we can make that happen.
Yeah, I think some of us just, we're going to bring our own sleeping bag and pad and a tarp, but like a camp chair and as tent is just going to be too much to transport along with the bike.
Yes, power, electricity is a good topic, Shannon. So we do have a charging station in camp at night. It is high demand and it's run off of a generator. It is there, and most, if you wait long enough, you do get to use it for your phone. But it is a good idea to bring battery packs with you that could last a day or two, and then a lot of people then just recharge them when we get to Queen's University halfway through, and then that can last you for the next couple of days. But yeah, there are charging stations in camp, and
Mike had asked, why do you need to be on a team? And so I can speak to that just a little, where primarily like for a first year rider who lives in the Toronto area, it's a great opportunity to meet people and not be overwhelmed. So there's a lot of social activities that happen within your team, but then specifically within the ride, a lot of teams do camp together, but that is not mandatory. What typically happens is the people who arrive into camp first will start to load everyone's bin from their team to a specific campsite. So you might get to camp and your bins have already been relocated to you, to a specific spot. So you can communicate to your team members if you don't want that to happen. Um, and then when we're in Kingston, that's where in the evening, you have the option to go out for dinner somewhere. And typically teams do book a restaurant together to dine together. But that's of course also up to you. So there's a lot of like flexibility with how much you want to participate with your team. Under no need do you have to ride with them. So it's really up to you to gauge.
Yeah, I'll just echo that. I think everything that Peter said is a great way to put it. I would say that, to have team captains as well is just like your go-to for questions. Beyond that, like you're there once the teams are set, it's your team captains that are really getting most of the questions, not so much the actual PWA staff, unless it's specific about like a very like unique case of like logistics or something like that, or just logistics in general. But I would say too, like I know people prefer to be in social environments with others, and some people don't. And I want to echo Peter's comment. It's like it just is it's better facilitation to be on a team and have team captains, but it's up to you to the degree you want to engage with them so you can have the ride you want.
great question about fundraising. Um, Actually, we are in the final stages of confirming our ability to issue American tax receipts. We haven't really pursued that before this year, but now with all of you, we thought it would be a good idea to make that happen. So there will be more details coming about that. You will need to set up kind of like a parallel fundraising page, but it will be able to issue you a tax receipt. This will obviously be a huge selling point for your donors. When it comes to corporate matching, I do know that Benevity, depending on your company, whether it's international, or I do know that corporate matching has come from the States before. So I think if your company is using Benevity, there's a good chance that will work.
What is the exact name up for the tax is? Because I would have to look it up. I work for US Bank, and so they would have a drop down box. What is the exact name so I could look for it to see?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat, but it's the Toronto People with AIDS Foundation.
I don't want to forget about Stephen Sheriff's talking a bit about the different spokes. I mean, there's more time for questions, of course, but did you want to speak to that now, Stephen?
Sure, thanks. As I said before, I'm a 4-time bike rally rider, 10-time ALC rider, and also, by the way, born and raised in Toronto. So it's always a joy to go back. I'm also the president of Different Spokes San Francisco, and I wanted to introduce us a little bit. we made a deal with San Francisco AIDS Foundation that all of the training rides for their Cycle to Zero program are going to run through different spokes. And so we've recruited a bunch of ALC legacy training groups. And so we have a very robust training program that's already in place, but it's going to kick off in spring. So we want to invite all of you to participate in that. We've already got Marin Marauders and ramping up, and almost certainly South Bay Blaze. We're hoping that East Bay Wildcats will decide to do their rides again. And if they do, I think they'll join us. You can check out all of those things on our calendar at differentspokessanfrancisco.org. Anyone can attend those rides, whether you're a member or not. But at the moment, we have a discount for membership, SFAF 25. Maybe you could send that out, Michael. I quickly want to say we have a ride on Friday called Turkey Burn, which is going to do Marshall Wall and Tomales Bay. Also on December 6th, there's a red ribbon ride to celebrate World AIDS Day. And are you still on the call? And so we hope to have a big turnout for that. And also we're having holiday parties. Pardon me?
Wear your red dresses.
Oh yeah, well, you can wear your red dresses on December the 6th. And again, that's up on the Different Spokes DSSF.org on the calendar, ride calendar. We have holiday parties on the 14th and the 19th. We'd love to see you at one of those. And also, we'd love to organize some bike rally social events. So I'm probably going to try and put one together in mid-January. And I'm going to communicate with the ambassadors and the co-chairs. But if you have any ideas on this, send them to the ambassadors email, but CC me, and I'm easy to remember, president at Different Spokes San Francisco, or DSSF.org, president at DSSF.org. If you have any ideas about what we can do together here in California in the Bay Area, just let me know, but make sure to CC the ambassadors so they're in on it and they'll have ideas too. So we would love to see you on our training rides. That's the main thing I want to say, DSSF.org. So thanks very much for giving me a little time to chat.
Thank you.
Yeah, someone just asked about getting in contact with each other. So we can, as long as we get consent from you to share your information with the other riders, we'll make that happen, and then you guys can connect in whatever way you would like. Okay.
I'm scrolling through just to make sure nothing was missed. See, there's a question about Francophone participants. Yeah, we have a large contingency of people from Quebec and Montreal area that ride. So they definitely speak French, but then there's also a lot of people from the Toronto area that speak French as well. So if you're looking to practice or speak French if you're already fluent, there will be opportunity.
But if you speak Parisian French, get ready for Canadian French.
Fair, yeah.
Yes. Yes, and if you've ever been to Montreal, you don't need to be able to speak French in Montreal, but it's encouraged that you try. They appreciate it.
Bonjour, hi is a good way to approach anybody, I found. Yeah.
Like I just say OE to everyone. So.
Yeah.
So real quick, back to the fundraising. Toronto People with AIDS Foundation is not showing up on Benevity in my, so I think that's a separate thing you'll have to set up once you have your US entity.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll work through the new system, so I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, will it actually say Toronto People with AIDS on the new entity?
No, I mean, we're working with like a foundation in the States that is actually issuing the receipts on our behalf, so it might be slightly different. So we'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Got to be more questions somewhere.
Oh, and there was a fair amount.
Well, I always like to say this one funny thing I tell anybody who wants to do the bike rally, make sure to bring a bar of soap because you're almost certainly going to wash those special parts of you that need daily washing in the lake or the river. And it's one of the great joys of the bike rally, but liquid soap doesn't work. You need a bar.
Good to know.
Yeah.
I feel like you covered this, but just to reiterate, if you've done ALC before and you're prepared for that, you don't need to worry about any of the hills or anything like that on this ride.
No, you're fine. I think ALC accomplishes the bike rally's full elevation by like halfway through the second day. Like it's really light. Yeah. I mean, you still need to be good with like distances, but like hills are fine if you've done ALC. It's you're not even going to notice them.
So those in San Francisco, I looked at the map and elevation. I don't think we get higher than Camino Alto on any point of the whole ride, do we? No, Stevenson.
Day one is the most climbing, but it's all rolling up and down. And as you get closer and closer to Montreal, it gets flatter and flatter. Days 4, 5, and 6 get pretty flat. What I found different is the humidity and the possibility of I mean, in my 4 years, there's only been like 3 or 4 major rainstorms, but that was rain. That was real rain.
Yeah, we have a rider handbook that addresses a lot of the physical challenges, and the heat is definitely the biggest one. So just keeping in mind, hydration and all of that.
Also, I want to call out the mornings are not as cold on the bike rally as they are on ALC. I found the mornings to be freezing on ALC, mostly because we don't have to get up at like 4:30, which is great. But like it's definitely like warmer mornings, and I found the temperature on ALC fluctuates more than it does in Quebec. I remember it just being really cool one days, and then some days were just blistering hot on ALC. So that was my observation. But while it may not get as hot on the hot days in Canada, Stephen is a very good point. The humidity can make it challenging. Yeah.
You said everybody rides out together at 8 o'clock in the morning. So is that kind of like there's like a corralling of 300 people, and then it's okay, everybody goes?
Basically, yeah. But most people get up at like 5. Breakfast is 5:30 to 6:30. Then you load up all of your stuff onto the truck, do a stretch, and then try to get out by 8 o'clock.
Those who are lazy like me, I don't get up till like 6. So if you're fast in the morning, like it's up to you. I would say it's not. Yeah, you can push it to 6 if you're kind of quick to get ready. Yeah.
I wrote this in the chat earlier. Like we don't have to stand in lines here for potties or restrooms, so you save that time and you get the entire hour from 6:30 to 7:30 to yourself to pack slowly and do your thing.
And and quiet time starts at 10 p.m. and it's pretty on the nose. People do go to bed when they're supposed to. Okay, well,
What do you think?
It's after 10 o'clock for us, so I think we can maybe end it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you, everybody. This is so great.
Thank you guys for
We'll be in
staying up
touch.
late.
Yeah, and fill out all the forms we send you so that we have all the proper information. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great night.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.